Hey everyone, back with another queer history moment. Again from the 1950s, 60s. Trigger warnings for outdated language. I use the term homosexuality. It was the term used back in the day, and I think it's important to talk about that. But I'm sorry if that word is difficult for anyone to hear. We talk about harassment, violence, police, the RCMP, military, and war. I think I covered all of them, but please let me know if there are other trigger warnings. So I'll put up a bunch of newspaper articles here, and here. Newspaper articles spread lies and misconceptions about homosexuality. There are newspaper articles that read, "Degenerates Parade Inspector Says Blames Lack of Public Disgust for Growth of Homosexuality. Homosexuality a problem, not an excuse. Lesbian vermin plagues Toronto." Wow. And the proof that perversion, homosexuals. And that's like a full page article that begins with, "What is a homosexual?" Yikes. That's so troubling to hear. People couldn't even fight back against these lies, as revealing yourself as a homosexual led to discrimination, harassment, violence, and criminalization. Most felt it necessary to hide their sexuality. They knew that they could lose their jobs, their homes, their family. They could be arrested, charged, and put in jail. In the article, "The Proof That Perversion Homosexuals," it states, "If you yourself are a homosexual, it's a sure thing that you do not understand your perversion, because if you did understand it, you would be well on your way to recovery." Nope. There are also national campaigns and for anyone who doesn't know, I'm just reading the scripts off of here because even though this is my research and these are my words, I'm not going to be able to remember to recite them in order. And also I'm losing my voice because I decided that it might be a good idea to try singing the entire CD of Hamilton again for a quick depression fix. So that's why this is this. Sorry, where was I? So there were national campaigns at the highest ranks of government to purge gays and lesbians from the RCMP, the Canadian Armed Forces, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, and public service, civil servant, or government jobs. This purge was linked to Cold War concerns about national security. It was thought that queer people were suffering from a quote-unquote character weakness that they mistakenly thought could lead to an increased chance of them being blackmailed into working with enemy agents such as the Soviet Union. I love that I stopped filming exactly at 4:20. That's just such a vibe right now. So yeah, people who worked in military, in police, in government, civil service jobs. The reason that they were targeted is because they thought that they could be blackmailed. And when individual people were kind of pulled aside as suspected homosexuals, they were interrogated, humiliated, threatened, and discharged or fired. When a military serviceman or servicewoman was exposed as a homosexual, they were also pressured to reveal fellow homosexuals that they knew in the military or in government positions. They were given a choice, which is not really a choice. If they didn't reveal known homosexuals, they were dishonorably discharged or face court-martial. If they did reveal them, they could resign with an honorable discharge. Lesbians were not included in these purges until the 1980s, and we'll hear about Michelle Douglas in a second here, as one of the people who was fired. Thousands of people in the military or who worked as civil servants were targeted, investigated, interrogated, humiliated, and assaulted. Their careers, sometimes their lives, were ruined by these purges. These national security campaigns began to weaken in the 1980s, but the military purge officially continued until 1992. Now I'll throw up a picture here that is a black and white photo of about a dozen protesters with two policemen standing Amongst them, the protesters carry picket signs that read, "End anti-gay practices in civil service," "End anti-gay law," and "Gay rights now." So Michelle Douglas, I'll put up another photo here of Michelle Douglas. She's a white woman with brown hair and is dressed in a military uniform. Michelle Douglas began her career in the Canadian Armed Forces in 1986 and was discharged for being a lesbian on June 8, 1989. As a part of the Purge campaigns, she recounts, quote, "I was so afraid. I just wanted to do my job, but none of that mattered. They were on a mission to determine my sexual orientation and then to ask me about every other person I knew in the military who happened to be gay or lesbian." So once rumors started that Douglas was could be a lesbian, a group of men from the military picked her up, drove her to a secluded location, and led her to a room where she would undergo hours of scrutinizing and demeaning questions about her sexuality. After she admitted to being a lesbian, she was discharged from the military. Her official release form cited she was not advantageously employable due to homosexuality. And if that isn't a slogan to put on a t-shirt, I don't know what is. In 1992, she would bring a case to the Supreme Court, winning a victory. I just remembered I had a follow-up fact. I'm like, wait, there's another Michelle Douglas fact that I have. I love geeking out on queer history, so thank you for allowing me to do this amongst the 10-minute videos on TikTok. I'm definitely not going to finish this fact in 10 minutes, but we will try. Or maybe I'll just do a second one today. That could be cute. On October 27th, 1992, Michelle Douglas launched a successful lawsuit against the military for compensation and to challenge its discriminatory policies against gay and lesbian service members. I'm not sure when it came about, but at some point the military said no gays or lesbians. But I will look that up. On the day the trial was to start, the military settled out of court, awarding Douglas $100,000 in compensatory damages and formally ending their policy. As part of the settlement, the Federal Court of Canada issued an order that the military's policy restricting homosexuals from serving in the military violated Section 15 of the Charter and Rights of Freedoms, which we talked about in the first queer history moment, or maybe the second. Maybe the first or second, the section that speaks to equality rights. As a result, the order CFAO 19-20 was immediately revoked, meaning that gays and lesbians were then able to serve. Along with the removal of this discriminatory rule, military officers who were discharged in the Purge campaigns were reinstated, and their career restrictions placed on them because of their sexuality was removed. I'm going to continue this fact or continue talking about the Purge campaigns and their effect in part 2 of the video. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the chaos. Super depressed, but still here doing the things. Bye.